A very good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We have our speaker, Professor Dr. Haniza Sarmin from Universiti Teknologi Malaysia, all the way from Johor Bahru. Good morning, Prof. Niza. How are you today?
Morning, Doctor. I'm fine, thanks.
Okay. And then, of course, we have our host, Professor Rijal, Dean of the Graduate School of Environmental and Information Studies in Yokohama campus in Tokyo City University. And we are sitting on Building 3 in Yokohama campus alongside Master and PhD students from Rijal Lab. I would like to remind all online as well as offline participants to please kindly switch off your mobile phone to silent mode so that we can have a smooth session with Professor Niza shortly. And I would like to welcome all participants from all over the world. I know I have been receiving emails for live participation on Zoom platform. And we are looking forward to have participants from not only Malaysia, but also from Indonesia, from Morocco. And then I have participants from Makassar, from Jakarta. So thank you so much. And in our lab, we have participants and students coming from Sri Lanka, from Nepal, from Japan, and also from Indonesia. Thank you so much for your time this morning. And we are here for the Smart Supervision, Strong Publications and Timely Graduation Leadership Discourse with Professor Niza from UTM. Before we proceed to the lecture, allow me to briefly introduce Professor Niza, our distinguished speaker this morning. She obtained her Bachelor of Science with honors, master's degree and PhD degree in mathematics from the State University of New York, now known as Binghamton University, New York, USA. Her research specializations encompass group theory, graph theory, formal language theory, splicing systems, and their applications. Professor Niza has published more than 500 research articles in various international and national journals and conference proceedings. She has also been invited as keynote speaker at various conferences and invited lectures in her areas of mathematics. She currently serves as an associate editor and editorial board member of the Index Malaysian Journal of Mathematical Sciences and also sits as editorial board member of several national and international journals, including Journal Technology, Menemui Matematik, Punjab University Journal of Mathematics, and the Arabian Journal of Mathematics. She has supervised and graduated 49 PhD students, 31 master students, and 93 undergraduate students. And I think by 2026, these numbers are still counting. In recognition of her outstanding supervisory practice, she was awarded the Recognized Research Supervisor status by the United Kingdom Council for Graduate Education in 2023. Professor Niza has secured more than 20 research grants as a principal investigator and over 25 grants as collaborator. She has held several key leadership and administrative positions at Universiti Teknologi Malaysia. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are very blessed to have Prof. Niza with us this morning to share with us her experiences in publication, supervision, and timely graduation. So, Prof. Niza, the floor is yours.
Good morning from Malaysia, Prof. Rijal, Dr. Yati. I see some of my students here, also graduated and active students, also student to be from Indonesia. Okay, I am very honored, Prof. Rijal. Thank you for inviting me. Let me see. Okay, Dr. Yati has mentioned about this background, but I want to show the photos. Photos give a little bit more impression, right? So this is where I graduated for my undergraduate degree right after my high school, then directly to my master's. But I stopped and worked with UTM for a few years before I continue under UTM scholarship for PhD. So I share this because I was single when I was doing my undergraduate and masters, but I got married in between those years. I had two boys at that time, and I brought my family to the USA for a PhD degree. The same as Dr. Yati, you have three boys, so I have now three boys. I share this also because I was the administrator in UTM, as mentioned by Dr. Yati, for 16 years before I was back to the faculty in 2023. So I work mostly managing students, first in the postgraduate studies of the faculty for 5 years. And this first photo, some of these students are now lecturers in UTM and some others lecturers in the Malaysia and outside Malaysia. Then Deputy Dean in the School of Graduate Studies for the whole UTM. First it's in the faculty and then to the whole of UTM, managing the postgraduate student society activities and others. And then I think during this time I met first time with Dr. Yati. And then I was candid to the UTM International Office, managing the student mobility and also later on to the International Student Society, and then later on for another 3 years as Global Strategy and Engagement. So this international collaboration is very important, not only because I was the administrator in international office, but also I will show later how this also influence the studies of especially my students. And now I'm back to the faculty as full professor, but continue for being a Senate member. Dr. Yati also mentioned about this research of mine. So normally people know me as a pure mathematician, or particularly in algebra, but I also explored other areas in expressing system and formal language theory and the applications of this. So you will see the DNA, we also work with the biologists, and also for graph theory, we work with the computer scientists, we work with the chemists, and also I work with also with electrical engineer. This is also mentioned by Dr. Yati, but if you want to see the detail, Dr. Yati, later you will share the slide, right? Or you will upload in the website, so you can go through these details of the topics and all of my undergraduate students. A master student by research is not very common or very popular in our department, but I managed to supervise and graduate. These students graduated between these years. I've worked with UTM, if you already calculated, for 35 years. But after my PhD in 1998, then I started supervise students starting from master in 1999. So they came from different countries. I didn't manage to get this the shy students who didn't want the photo to be shared, or I couldn't find in the anywhere. But that's okay. At least I have the name. This is not typo, yeah. This is his name. He's from Iraq. So the R, if you move to the last name, becomes my name. But that's coincidence. And also 49 PhD students, including the one which is a student of my student, just finished and waiting for the Senate letter for this year. So among these 49 students, between these 22 years, so 35 are locals, 14 internationals, and the international comes from these countries, including the youngest PhD holder in Malaysia Book of Record in 2014, Dr. Hazira Izzati Manhasim, received her PhD when she was 24 years old. So she was invited in TV and all the newspaper, and they came also to UTM to see. Okay, now I'm currently supervising 3 PhD students, but as co-supervisor um, from another university in Malaysia and 2 in UTM. I think Nuzhat is here from Pakistan. And also, I see just now Alia, my master student, as main supervisor. Why I don't supervise many students? Because I will be compulsory retirement next year. So that's why I stopped taking more students. To give you the idea of the title of the students and semester of the thesis submission, starting from the first student, Dr. Fong in 2004, she started on the splicing system, and more you can see this title is more in mathematics and mostly pure mathematics. I don't want to spend too much. I don't have that much time. But just to give you the idea about having students working together with you as supervisor or among the students, if you are students, it helps to be among the students of the same supervisor, like your siblings, right? And there's more. So each and every one of these students has their own story. I can actually write a book on individual student, but I'm not going to go over that. That's why the different in the semester. Some of them doing it part-time. Some of them have some issues. Some of them take maybe some leave. So more or less, I will also mention about the timely graduation, what it means by that one. Okay, this is because of the COVID, so there's the delay also in the process. But I think this is the one that I have right now. Dr. Yati requested this specifically. I call this my wall of fame, in which I listed the students from number 1 until as my main supervisor, 37. You can see the end over there. And then 3 of my PhD students are now lecturers in UTM. So they have their main students, and I co-supervise as like mentor-mentee. So I call them my grandchildren, PhD grandchildren. And that's the active students. And we have quite a number that is waiting for scholarship and planning to further their PhD in UTM. I just list them there so I don't forget. Dr. Yati mentioned about this. I'm the first the recognized research supervisor actually in Malaysia, and UTM become the first university that has this recognition. Before I go into our detail of the supervision, you have to know what is actually a supervisor. As a student and also as a supervisor, it's academic staff that offers guidance to one or more undergraduate student for their undergraduate project. So in UTM, we have to have an undergraduate project for our undergraduate student. This is for undergraduate student. When I was an undergraduate student, I had no idea. We don't have to do any undergraduate project. Even for masters, it was totally a taught course for my masters. So I have to learn by myself how to do research starting when I was working. But if you already had as a student the undergraduate project, then it helps a lot if you continue for your master's or PhD. Now, I just want to go very quick on what is the difference in between undergraduate project, master's project, meaning you taking all taught course, or master's dissertation, meaning you taking mixed mode, 2 semesters of classes or 1 semester of research. Master thesis, meaning you taking research, master's by research for the whole duration. In UTM, you just have to take research methodology and 1 compulsory university course. That's it. The rest, you do your research. And what is a PhD thesis? As a student and as a supervisor, this is very important. Although the regulation might be different in different universities or different countries, I mostly will share more about UTM. So this is for undergraduate project student, carried out by each student, because students are also taking classes, so they're just taking 1 year of this project. credits for the first semester and 4 credits for the second semester, but they are taking other classes. So we don't expect that this student will have new, although some students are very good, they also can publish from the undergraduate study. And typically it's about 60, 80 pages normally. For the objective, they have maybe learned a little bit about the basic, but new solution on the research problem, and they have to analyze, maybe they collect more data or use the existing data, and they have to write a research report and they have to present. But we don't expect them to do something new. For master by thought course, the same as the undergraduate, they're taking classes. So this is like 4 credits maybe, or started with the second semester with 2 credits. But this is after the undergraduate, so the level has to be a little bit higher. So if they are more interested in doing and choosing certain field, then this is the time that they choose the topic that they want to do. And this is not required, again, as original contribution, but we expect the student to have higher references, like not only from books, but also from journals. Also 80 to 100 pages and just 1 semester. Many of my students, master students, are from mixed mode or dissertation, and quite a number of them continue for their PhD. So master dissertation is similar, but it's more depth because they do it for 1 semester full research. So they become a research student in this 3rd semester. They need to perform their research, and then they have to critically discuss the issue. Again, we don't expect them to publish, but many students can publish and they have novelty from their dissertation. Master by research is different in the terms of depth of the research and the extent of literature covered, because for masters by research, normally the duration is like 3 to 4 semesters and 3 to 4 semesters of full research. So we expect more, and the assessment is more rigorous, more in-depth, and critical analysis, and must be, normally is thicker than the rest. So the duration is, they can actually do it very fast, but normally cannot finish between 2 semesters, 3 to the highest is 8 semesters. And the PhD, more extensive. If master's is for like 3, 4 semesters, PhD like 6 to 8, so it has to be at least double of that. So the originality in the field, the literature review has to be exhaustive, and they have to assess this much more rigorously, a wider field, and depend also on the objective. The objective of masters and PhD can be the same as in the number, but the depth is different. And typically it's between these pages, but for pure mathematics, we normally don't write a lot. It's more of proof, but we can also, depending on the area also. And that is the duration. I mentioned 6 to 8, but it can be 5 for the Excel students. If you realize, a couple of my students in the list finish within 5 semesters, but I don't think they sleep too much. Okay, so this is the role and responsibility of a supervisor. Let me move this a little bit. Okay. Provide guidance on the expected forms and quality of research. You don't expect your supervisor to do the research for you. You are the one that's a student, and you are the one that will get the degree, but your supervisor is there to provide the necessary guidance, assist the implementation of fieldwork or survey if you need to do any survey, follow the development of your research, advise on the dates. This is very important to be graduate timely. Not only the student needs to know every little details, the supervisor also need to advise you on the dates and also the milestone. Revise research paper produced by the student and written with constructive comments within a reasonable time. So this is very important. I don't put it red, I put it blue, but that is very, very important points. encourage students to present their work in seminars and publish in journals. This is, although I say this is for supervisor, but the students have actually the full responsibility for themselves. You don't expect your supervisor to provide everything for you because you are adults now, not the primary school, yeah, but we are here to help and remind. So make assessment and submit progress report. We have to assess our student, make sure safety procedures in the lab, schedule and hold regular meetings. And it depends on the supervisor, whether you want to meet every week, you want to meet every 2 weeks, it depends. But I normally will meet my student every week. Sometimes when it's towards the end, a few times a week. Maybe during time that the students are writing, less meeting. Encourage students to submit thesis within the normal period of study, depending on your university. And the main supervisor must work along with co-supervisor when supervision is involving more than one supervisor, because one of the reasons that the students cannot graduate on time or have problems at the end is that the main supervisor do not agree with the co-supervisor or vice versa, because they have clash in the details in the research or in the thesis. So I will show you lots of photos later, and you will see how this is done, sharing my experience. And good relationship with the student, avoid any conflict. You have to work with the student had to work with the supervisor at least for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. So maintain good relationship. The supervisor also have to nominate the internal examiner and external. This is also very crucial, because if you choose the wrong person, either they are not in the area, not the expertise, or they are too busy, or you don't know that they are going to retire. When I was in the graduate school, I have had so many delay in the viva just because of the examiners. And never ask your student to nominate their own examiners. The supervisor is the responsible person. Ensure students are aware of all rules and information related to registration. Okay, in the first day, there should be like MOU for supervisor and the student. You should know this. And also the faculty here, they have briefing. So it's very important. Some students miss the briefing, then they miss so many important information. Revise and ensure this project or dissertation or thesis has reached the level of award. So this is a big responsibility for a supervisor, because during the viva, we don't want the examiner to say, this is not a PhD level. Then why do you let it to be submitted? And then maybe some supervisor said, the student just pressed me to sign because students want to finish, but then during the viva, the student may be given another year. This has happened. And you in UTM, but in other universities in Malaysia, the supervisor do not have to be present during the viva. And this is also very important for the supervisor to assist in the correction of the thesis. What is GOT? If you hear people say about GOT is graduate on time, it refers to students who completed their study within normal duration. So in other universities, different universities, they have different graduate on time. Like in the US, the normal duration is 4 to 5 years. Although I finished earlier because I don't take any leave at all during summer break. I want to go back earlier. So I finished in 3 years plus. Okay, definition of GOT for PhD in UTM is 42 months for GOT UTM, but in Ministry of Higher Education in Malaysia is 48 months from the registration date until the passing date. And this is in UTM. You can see students or supervisors, the graduate, postgraduate research journey. The one on top is the masters. You can see it's like very smooth or straight. But for PhD, you will see like the snake, yeah? This is normal. But actually masters also, you can see the snake. But they compare between these two. And you have to know if you want to finish within 3 years what do you have to take during first semester, second semester, and so on. In UTM, the Postgraduate Student Society have some structured courses that students can freely join. So as a student, I would encourage you to join whatever is available during your study. It will help you, although not necessarily on your research particularly, but in general. Okay, I have mentioned actually something related to this, but specifically for today's talk, smart supervision, strong publications, and timely graduation. I just want to share actually today is what I did with my students. I don't say it's tricks, but some tips mostly for both supervisors and students. This will cover these 10 items: recruitment and selection, supervisory relationship with the candidates, supervisory relationship with co-supervisors, supporting candidates' research project, encourage candidates to write and giving appropriate feedback, keeping the research on track and monitoring, supporting candidates' personal, professional, and career development, supporting candidates through completion and final examination, supporting candidates to disseminate their research, and reflecting upon and enhancing practice. These 10 items are those required for the UKCGE supervisor that I mentioned to you earlier. Okay, this is also very important for students. Well, you're already in the system, so recruitment and selection has passed for you, but you will probably, when you finish, become supervisor. And take this opportunity for the future. For the supervisor, you can use these tips maybe for your next student. And this is, I share UTM supervisors. It has to be among academic staff and with expertise in the research area. And for PhD, they have to take some courses and they have some requirements. And the supervisor must not be in any way personally related to the candidate. We can add additional supervisor or a co-supervisor in within UTM or in Malaysia or outside Malaysia, which is called the external co-supervisor. And a candidate can request a particular supervisor. So if your friends want to apply maybe to UTM, you can uh, tell the student, contact first. And maybe emailing first and get to know each other beforehand. That's what I did. And then come up with the proposal and then apply. Then they will normally give you the person because you have contacted them. Very important that you always update your website because I give also the question survey for all my graduate students. How do you find me? Some of them, they from the undergraduate, some from master and going to PhD. And some of them, they come from overseas. They have never been to Malaysia. They check the website, they check the publication. And some of them fly to Malaysia for a trip and meet with the potential supervisor from different universities because they have to choose the one that they can work with for like 3 or 4 years. So I have also mentioned this. How do we get the students? If we know the students from earlier, like Dr. Hazira, I supervised Dr. Hazira from undergraduate. She's past track students go to directly to PhD. So during the undergraduate topic, we can already give the PhD topic. They can start from, or for undergraduate to masters. And some of them they assigned by school or department. Or some students, they like us from the class. They like our subjects. They want to furthermore. And sometimes if you have a mentor, your mentor can assign to you, or so many emails that the students send, you can get to know the students first. And for me, it's very important to do the background check. Okay, this photo is actually my undergraduate student who now is my master student. And this is also one critical topics for both the candidate and the supervisor, how to get the topics of research, because you need to be resourceful and knowledgeable. Maybe continuation from our PhD topic. I had few students who continue from my PhD topic. From our literature review or suggestion for future research that we done or our students have done this. Student suggestion also, some of the students, they give their own because they come from outside and they want to continue their master's title. From conferences, we went to conferences, we look at other people's work and they give suggestions, or we can discuss with other researchers and through connections and collaborations. This is also very important. Everything is important to me because this will uh, uh, make sure that whether you can finish timely or not. Funding. So every time the student contact me, I will ask whether you need funding or you have your scholarship. Because if I have a grant, normally it's for the local students. Some of them I offer the grant. Some of them they said they have their own scholarship or they are from universities that the university will pay for everything. Like when I went to the US, UTM paid for everything. Because if the student get problems to pay at least the tuition fee, then this will affect also on the GOT. For the second one, is for me, it's important to get to know my students. What is the student family background? Because then we know if they have problems. If they don't have problems, whether they should be staying in UTM or it's okay that they're working from home, this kind of thing. Financially, or the occupation of the parents, the marital status, are you married? I remember one time, this one student, married student, I said, I want to talk also to your spouse, the husband. So this is what I expect. Because sometimes people think that when you do PhD, you are free all the time because you don't have classes. But I will expect my student to work like 40 hours a week. Yeah, more or less, who work for 8 hours straight in a day, right? But if not, you cannot graduate within the limit that you expect to graduate. We have other things I mean, 8 hours a day is during the day. Weekends is free, so you can be with your family. And this is what I did during my PhD. I also had to work. I also had to become teaching assistant, and I had two little boys. Okay, and sometimes students complain that the supervisors don't listen to them, don't understand them. You don't expect us to be like your guardian, right? Your parents. But as a supervisor, it's important for us to listen, to understand to the student, and to try and think the student as our own family. What I said now, I will show you lots of photos later, but I will go quick, yeah? I don't have that much time, Dr. Yati. I have lots of things to share. And how do we treat postgraduate students? Because they are mature students, they are not kids. So we have to consider the time. Expect the students to come do this. We expect you in UTM. We always tell the research students you have 30 days in a year to take leave, not including public holiday or weekends. So you can plan. This time is for you to take a break, but most of my students, they don't take a 30-day break. Just a few days. And we will have to manage other students, the colleagues sometimes. How do you manage working together with others? We also have to consider if we have grants, how do we allocate the grants? And the work environment, not only for the supervisors, but for the students, is very crucial, because students who just stay at their room and students who go to the library or go to the workspace, it's a different feeling. So it depends on where you are more, suitable to you. Skill development, we have to develop more of the skills, or we cannot stop because we learn every day. I still read journal papers. I still go to courses. We have to manage our health also. So this is very important. Everyone has the same time in a day. So we have time for research, for teaching, and students need to understand that the supervisors are also teaching. That is the main, the biggest portion of the time as a working time, actually, especially here, to teach. Then you had to do research, you had to be supervision. When I was administrator, I had to go to meetings, so the students should understand for the schedule. We join the committee, we have our family, we need time for ourselves, we need also time for leisure. But we all have 24 hours in a day, so manage our time very carefully. Prof. Rijal, since I was a kid, every time I heard about Japan or Japanese, I will know their punctuality. And I'm a punctual person, so we match a good match with Japan. I've not been going to Japan for so many times, just for leisure, not really going to the university. Maybe the next time Dr. Yati can bring me back to Japan, yeah, to TCU. So expectation in supervision, we have to manage whether supervisor and student have the same expectation. Sometimes the expectation is different, and like this, so it's not level, not mismatch. Supervisors expect the students to be independent, to possess this intellectual capacity. The candidates, depending on the supervisors, everything important decision, the students is waiting for the supervisors. It has to be matching. The supervisors can only advise, but the students have to grab and have to be firm also, but has to be, maybe the supervisor said, oh no, this is not all the students. Oh, I think this is things like this, yeah. Okay, this is what the students always expect from the supervisor. I don't say the supervisor has to fulfill all this, but the students will want the supervisors to always be around, know everything that they ask. This the answer will be, we cannot always be around for you. Sometimes we have other things to do. We probably don't know everything that you ask, but we learn together. Some of the other topics that is not really under my expertise, I learn together with the students. But you don't expect us to know everything. PhD especially, or master by research, is something new that it's yours. So you probably is much better at the end than the supervisor. But this is important. Always reply emails and messages, but within certain time that you agree together. Not only the student, but the supervisor. Yeah, expectation with us is the same thing actually for replying emails. Always ready for any help. We should be able to motivate the student, and also some supervisors, they forget to show some appreciations of what they did. We as a human normally will only look at what's wrong. Sometimes maybe it's good that the supervisor, oh, this is really good work. How many times you show your appreciation for what the students have done. Friendlier with them, understanding when they have personal problems, understand when students cannot complete. I give deadlines to the student, but sometimes the student cannot finish. The student normally are afraid to ask, but it's okay. You can just ask, I have tried, but I cannot finish it on time. Okay, then we can do this, and we can add some more days, things like this. And allow students to make decision with some useful advice, not only for this. What if the supervisor is very busy, cannot have frequent meetings with the students? And what I did before, when I cannot meet with the students are going for a workshop or a talk. I want to know what the students know. So I said, all my students, you need to write a short report whenever you go to a workshop or talk. Like the students now, you are now here joining my talk. So you should write a simple report on what you learn, whether it helps you or it does not help you. So the supervisors will know. If the supervisors are not here, they have no idea, right? So this is about the structured course of facing your viva. So I know what my students already know. Report on publication workshop. My students went to this workshop, so you should have known this, and I read the detail. This is the student, this is very good. Some of the time I learn from what the students workshop also. And how to manage students' difficulties. We try to help students as much about the time of the student. We don't, financial means sometimes the students don't know that there are available funding or scholarship, things like this in the university. So this is how a supervisor can help the student. Their difficulties in managing family or the spouse. And for international students, the supervisor need to know also sometimes the visa, maybe they have only 1 year or 3 years, things like this. So these are some photos that I want to share, some social support for the students. I never miss my students' convocation ceremony. My hometown is not very far from UTM, Pro Rijal. If you come to UTM, maybe you can join if there's durian season. I brought my students. This is my student from Nigeria in this tree. So first time maybe climbing the tree and to pick up the fruits. We have lunch together. Sometimes this is the only time that I'm free for that week. So we just go have lunch, like I call it a lunch meeting. And during Hari Raya is coming soon. So I normally will invite my students to come and the Raya packet. So we share also our culture. And we went to bowling for under research group normally. These are my students. And this is a barbecue at my house. We don't talk about research during these times. We just go to have social interactions and we share the food. This helped me a lot in having, I think everyone else is doing this, WhatsApp group for all my students at this one semester, and also, and also the co-supervisor, okay, should be inside so everyone knows what is going on. Like this one was from last year. I have two co-supervisors here, three co-supervisors, and four, five. All the doctors are the co-supervisors, and the rest will be the students. So I share the whatever is necessary to everyone, and sometimes. You want to be quick, you go to WhatsApp, but you want to be there easy for you to check, you have a mailing list. In past years, we invited the research group, invited our alumni as invited speakers. So these were my students from Libya and from Pakistan, and local students from other universities to share. And also we invite also our alumni to UTM to give a workshop to the student. The relationship with the co-supervisors, um, how do you manage if you have a mentor or a mentee and some of them becomes your co-supervisor, and if not co-supervisor, maybe the co-authors, and how frequent that you want to meet with the students together, or kind of communication. So this is my undergraduate student, but we have co-supervisor from outside, so we meet in hybrid together. um, and also here in UTM, one PhD student, physical, and another one. And this student is from another university, Universiti Sultan Abidin, and with my previous PhD student, they came to UTM together. He's from Pakistan to discuss. Otherwise, we discuss online. But I take the chance to meet with the student every week. If the co is okay, then they can join. If not, I just meet with the student. I have this mentor-mentee tree from the first PhD student. These students in green means that I co the student. Okay, and this is the pink means I'm the main and my student is the co. So I match them together, even if they graduated, even if they are in their country. So it's much easier to do this collaboration. We also have WhatsApp group for individual student. Like for Alia, we have co-supervisor from outside UTM. I put their Google Drive link here, so it's very easy for me to just click. Also for another student and another student with another co-supervisor. This is also very important for my student to CC all related emails to supervisors. Like, sorry, like my student sent to a conference and CC me and the main supervisor and the other co-supervisor about whatever it is regarding the abstract submission or publication or problems within the system, things like this. And this one is to ask for the publication status. So we know what is happening. Okay. And then supporting the student, if we have grants or scholarship, the students get funding from there to attend conference. And also UTM had teaching assistant before, or you can support students by assigning as research assistant. Networking with other researchers is also important. We have our research group. I normally will go conferences. Most of the time, I brought my students to conferences or seminars or workshop. I send my students for research attachment inside Malaysia or outside Malaysia. And also, if we cannot contact or get the paper, we can probably contact the authors of the references. Some of these authors become our co-supervisor or co-author for publication. Our research group is, we call it A-Cube-G, Applied Algebra and Analysis Group. So with many other academic staff in the department and pure mathematics, we have this research group, so we do things together. And we do mock viva, we do seminars, we do workshop. We have conferences under our the group theory, or we send students for international postgraduate conference. And just a few weeks ago, we had this international ACUBG meeting. No, sorry, this is actually from last time. It's actually international seminar that we did. I didn't change the caption. For the research attachment, these are just some of them. That I sent students. Dr. Fong went to my university working with my previous professor. And the co-supervisor, which was my PhD brother, I call him, in US, and two other students working with you in UK. And I sent one student to a professor that I met during conference in Turkey. Then we talked, and then I sent Dr. Hazira to Brazil for a research attachment. And the research attachment normally is about like 2 weeks up to 2 months. And Dr. Norhayati went to the US twice. One is for 1 semester, one of a few months. So they can also feel how is it to study overseas. International collaboration, they sometimes give grants or title of research, or co-author or co-supervisor. So I met, Prof. Ahmad contacted me through email, and we met when they came to UTM, Prof. Dia, and I met Prof. Intan when I went to a conference. So that's why conference is very important. Dr. Sanhan, we met through a mutual friend. When my master student graduated, went back to Iraq to study, and then she met with Dr. And then Dr. Shazad took classes with Prof. Tom Head, which is the co-author of Dr. Fong. Dr. Elizabeth Good is the student of Tom. And we met Dr. Adit when we went to a seminar in Indonesia, and Dr. Alfi came to UTM. So more or less, this is the summary of my collaborators around the world, including the one that I mentioned and the one that we friend of friend. Some of these are my students. This is about the strong publication. We should encourage the candidates to write, and we should give feedback. And students have to work in a timely manner. You cannot wait until the end. You have to make sure this will take time. And as a supervisor, I never miss to check my students' paper or thesis, whatever it is, abstract. Okay, so planning for publication of at least a review paper during the first semester in conference, depending on also the budget. Nowadays, they have much cheaper conferences online, but to me, the impact is different from joining the conference physically, although it's maybe more expensive. You meet with people, you face to face, but opportunity to see other people's work, how people present, up to date with the references, this kind of thing. Whether we want to publish in Scopus or in Web of Science or in Quartal Journal, you have to plan to attend workshop. In literature review or publication, there are lots of workshop in UTM. Schedule planning, I share my schedule with my students so the students can see my schedule every week. We have this very close Facebook group that only the invited people can access to my schedule every week. So I will update normally every Sunday, what I will do the next week, and the students will see, and then the student will comment, can I meet here, can I meet here, can I meet here, and then I will put in until my schedule is full, so the students can see, and then I will transfer to Google Calendar, and I will invite, otherwise then I cannot meet my students. So this is some photos that we plan for research discussion physically, because I have also undergraduate students. Normally I get 2 students. I don't have enough walls, so we have to put the whiteboard on the floor, but this is the time that we managed to really discuss together with the co-supervisor. Okay. And also we can do it, virtual, in which the co-supervisor may be in Afghanistan, the student, no, the student was in Afghanistan, the co-supervisor in Nigeria, so we can do this. I never worked together, Prof. Rijal, with a co-supervisor for co-author from Japan. Maybe I have not found the right mathematician from Japan. This is hybrid, in which there's the co-supervisor in Zoom, and we do it because we need the whiteboard. And this is also important for monitoring progress for timely graduation. So for undergraduate project, final year undergraduate project 1, we put everything in the logbook for every week, so I know what is my student progress. And for the second semester, we follow what is expected from us by the department, and the detail in the logbook, I always take photo. I like taking photos, so I said you can put the photo in the logbook. So the 10th meeting, like in the week 12 for last year, this is what we discussed, this is what the student need to do, and what need to do next. So I always can refer to this, so I don't forget. And this is for PhD, although now they use online, but I still want to use this, what do we discuss, whether you have problems or not, or maybe it has not been done in the next meeting. To present research progress, when I have quite a number of students at the end of the semester, everyone present their research progress, so I can give the marks for the progress report. You can do it also online, so everyone is given like 10 minutes, then they present, and then I know what's the update for the whole semester. For the Gantt chart, every student needs to have this Gantt chart, because for the Gantt chart, they need to see you like PhD. Okay, you plan to finish in 3 years. This is what you have to do in first year, second year, third year. And they also have Gantt chart for every semester, 14 weeks. What do you will do this week? And technology transfer activities, they put, they want to present in 5 conferences within 3 years. They want to publish like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 papers. These are the list of conferences that they plan to do for the coming 3 years. I mean, we have math conferences every year, every 2 years. So the planning and also getting grants, things like this. And it's very important for the students and the supervisor to know in advance the academic calendar, especially when this is due. I got this academic calendar of TCU from the website. So you also have in this form, UTM has in this form, especially if there's like a public holiday, the time very near, I will be busy during this time, so you have to plan for this. For systematic records, Dr. Yati, I will try to finish within the time, yeah? I still have a few. For systematic records, for each of the student, I keep a copy of their Google Drive. So for active students, for example, this is practical student, master student, PhD students, I keep photos, progress report, and for undergraduate. For example, PSM is in Malay, Project Sarjana Muda, which is the final year project. I have for 2 students at this time. So each of these students, they need to put their details like inside, they have to have about the viva, about the report, about the proceeding. Everything is inside, so it helps me to keep in track what I want to check. For PhD student, I will have this there's in mathematics, I forgot the name, but there's the numbers that you associate. So my students have their own numbers. Like Dr. Fong has number 1, Shiham is Dr. Fong's 6th PhD student, which is 6 of my under me as co, so I give 1.6. And up until the end when I'm the main, so I have this folder, and each inside the folder, there's course registration to make sure the student register every semester. First assessment, all documents. Literature review means whatever you have papers. If in any time I want to check what papers that you have, put in the literature review, logbook, publication. Inside publication, you will have maybe submitted, you have accepted, you have published. So I know what's going on, and also the thesis of the student. This is the whole of my PhD students altogether. 48, because one of them is waiting. Once he get his Senate letter, I will move into graduated PhD student. For professional and career development, for me, it's very important the students not only doing research or academic, the student have to have a good lifestyle, joining like postgraduate student society. In the college, they become like fellow or global buddies, or joining Toastmasters Club. We have Culture Corner. Last time they become committee for that. I also send students for research attachment or going abroad for outbound mobility. And we also have International Student Society. So this is like some students who join in the Postgraduate Student Society in the faculty and also in UTM, Toastmasters Club. They can also get some awards under this club. International Student Society, Culture Corner. Culture Corner is like you're sharing food, you're sharing your culture. It's not nothing about academic. Students sometimes need to be referred to counseling centers, so supervisor need to know what is available. I brought my student to go to a camp in Indonesia for real-world experience under math camp. Some of my students, or most of my students, I sponsor using grants. About completion and timely graduation, as a supervisor, also especially for the student, you need to know your PhD or master journey. From the registration, maybe you have assessment, and then you have to notice for thesis submission. It will take 3 months before you submit your thesis. How long do you have to wait until Viva? And then if you have correction, when do you have to submit the hardcover? When you will get your Senate letter? And finally, the bonus will be the convocation. So how long should the supervisor take to check the student's thesis? Within one month or less. When I was really busy, 1 month is too long for me actually. But now I can finish within maybe about 1 or 2 weeks. Yeah. But it will go through many phases, like not just once, maybe 5 times. I ask my students to sit in classes, and we, as I have mentioned this, we plan together whether they have to go to seminar, how many publication, and all of this. This is some photos of my students after I return their correction. This is the complete draft that they sent to me after some of the partial draft. So they are looking at my corrections and they have to do it. And when they do the correction, we meet again and make sure that the students did all the corrections and slide preparation for the Viva. And before Viva, the student have to present. It's just 15 minutes or 20 minutes. So this is during the Viva. Corrections and submission after Viva. Make sure the students do all the corrections so the corrections can be accepted. Although it's minor, but it's very important. And then this is correction for the student to send CC to the supervisor so we know the students are on track. I meet with the co-supervisor at the end to submit again if there's more correction. And these are just some other photos. And finally, the students send the hardcover thesis. So I put in my office all the PhD thesis, and he said, okay, I'm the last main student, and the student will get the Senate letter. How do students disseminate their research? This is the requirement. I check for TCU, it depends on the supervisor, how many publication that the supervisor, but in UTM, the student has to, for masters, article that has been accepted in or published in journal or conference proceeding or book chapter. For PhD, for early submission, 2 articles in index, okay. for 6th to 16th semester, 1 article in Web of Science or 2 in Scopus or ERA or Index. And we need to know this. So if the student don't know, they don't put the supervisor's name, it cannot be counted, they cannot send your thesis. And the student must be first student author, meaning in the list, student is the first student. It can be the second or the third or the fourth author, but normally my student be the first author and the, of course, first student author. I'm just sharing my student from Afghanistan that sent the thesis in 5th semester. When he sent the thesis, this is the number of papers that he already sent in index journal, for non-index, in the proceeding, presented in conference. And this is another student, he submitted in the 6th semester. I think I saw Zali earlier, but I don't know now. He has like 5 in journal articles, mostly in index, and conference proceedings in which he went to conferences and presented papers in 8 conferences, local and international, in maybe other universities or in Indonesia. Okay. And also he had copyrights. You can do this and receive this award, a best paper in conferences or also in innovation. The last one would be as a supervisor, especially, but students, when you finish, graduated, becomes maybe supervisor or don't even academic member. We have supervisory development program course. I always been invited to share about the GOT or about other supervision skill for the young or new lecturers in UTM and also from other universities in physical or online like today. And this one is some of the workshop that I attended, just to know or get updated, maybe to see if other people from biology or physics or chemistry or engineering, maybe the sharing is different, the publication, things like this. So as a conclusion, for supervision skill, we have to be knowledgeable for both students and supervisors, resourceful. We need to be passion and compassion is important. Punctuality is very important. I normally will reply messages or emails, within 1-2 days. If I don't reply within 3 days, that means maybe I missed it. I remember my student last week said, "You always reply on time." Then I said, I was mobile. So if I went abroad, then maybe a few hours in flight, or when I sleep early, those are the times that I will be away from the internet. Ever helpful, friendly, approachable, smart, intelligent, caring, supportive, understanding, non-ever-ending skills that supervisors need to have. And students also, committed, highly disciplined. You have to have great communication skill, great networking. Supervisor especially, you can learn. It's not ending, yeah? Highly skilled in the area. Alert of all deadlines, sincere, empathy. You have to be very patient. And also most of the time we need to sacrifice. Like if you work only 8 hours a day, no weekend, and then there's so many things that on Monday you'll be like, there's so many things to do. So sometimes you have to work at night and during a weekend. These are my references from UTM, and just sharing a photo of my student when both of them received the innovation and also for thesis, PhD best thesis during the Malaysia Mathematical Society award. And my final student, PhD student, as main supervisor, received Pro Chancellor's Award in the last convocation of UTM. You can see the details in my website of my research, of my papers, of my students, the title. You can be connected with me in LinkedIn. I have some like in my YouTube also, my sharings and my classes. And with that, thank you very much. I pass back to Dr. Yati.
Thank you very much, Professor Niza, for the comprehensive explanations and experiences sharing on supervision, publication, and timely graduation of postgraduate students, as well as all of the young academics and young scholars attending today. So I feel like I wanted to have another hour because I have so many questions, the stories behind those photos that Prof. Niza has shared. But I would like to give this opportunity for the students as well as our online participants who are live at the moment with us through Zoom to ask question to Prof. Niza. So you can switch on your camera and ask the question directly to Prof. And for the students attending in the hall, if you have any questions, just simply let me know. So we are open for the Q&A session. Any question? Yeah, please do ask, okay? Otherwise, I'll conquer the session with my questions.
If they're too shy, they don't have to turn on the video, Dr. Yati.
Yes, if you are shy, then you don't have to turn on your video. On Zoom, any question? So far, there's nobody saying hello on chat. Anyone? Okay. If we do not have any, like, let me do the starter question for you. Okay, so we have seen a lot of photos as well as sharing by Prof. But of course, we wanted to know, beside the successful stories, Prof, has there been any failure or has there been any student dropping out from your research group or moving away from your supervision?
Okay, Dr. Yati, thank you for the question. I can say my students 100% graduated. The one that went all the way until submission of thesis, Viva, Alhamdulillah, 100% finished and graduated. They have their own journey. So, um, and one of the student did not continue in I think in the very early because she got married and then she got pregnant. So she quit that one because of the family. There's another one from Iran. He's in the third. He's in the third semester. Already get few papers actually. He's a very good student, but then the daughter got sick. And the doctor need to do the operation is very expensive here. So he went back, quit UTM, went back to Iran, continued the title, and I become the co-supervisor, and he finished. So, so that's the story.
Thank you, Prof. Any questions from Zoom
I
or
think I saw
from the
in
hall?
chat.
In chat? Okay, there's one maybe. Okay, so from Bunga. Hello, Bunga. Thank you for attending. I think she is our one of our PhD candidates at MJIIT. She wanted to ask Prof. Most of the PhD students often think that they have to create their thesis perfectly. But there is no time if every experiment and having weird results, okay, and make the student feeling stressful, but still want to give their thesis a perfect presentation. So how to manage this emotional problem? Okay, Prof.
Okay, Bunga, nice name. um, you can never be perfect. Yeah, that is my answer. Your thesis can never, even human, we can never be perfect, but believe your supervisor. Okay, the supervisor has as I have shared, the one that will help you in determining whether you can submit or not. Some students they said, "Oh, I want to do more. I want no." When the uh, supervisor said, "Okay, this is already okay to be submitted. Sometimes your supervisor don't explain more, but your supervisor have gone through the whole experience. So uh, I just had this, not my student, but a student who said, I think I want to send first for somebody else, like proofreader or something. Although the supervisor already said, yes, you can send to make it more perfect, but it will take more time and drag more time. So you maybe think it's weird, but if you send it to your supervisor, the supervisor said, this is okay. So believe your supervisor. That is my advice. Yeah. I think Zaki.
Thank you very much, Professor Riza, for your very great presentation. Although I have one question, but it's from the perspective of a student rather
Mhm.
than from a supervisor. Um, at the beginning of your presentation, you talk about the research duration for each uh, class, like from master to from PhD. You talk like 1 year, 1 semester, 5 to 16 semester. In that time period, uh, be- it depends on the field, but typically what we do here is that we do mostly literature review and then try to compare, and then after finding relevant sources and relevant topics, then we can go collect like physical data. And I want to ask your opinion, not your opinion, sorry, your past experience. What did you do? How did you plan that timeline, that research timeline for your students? I think that's it for me. Thank you.
Okay, Zaki, you are from which country?
Indonesia, Professor.
Which part of Indonesia?
Originally from Tangerang, but I took my bachelor at Surabaya.
Okay, okay. We have some other participant in Zoom from Indonesia. Okay, it depends on, I have 49 stories that I can share. But it depends on the student, okay? If the student have done the title from undergraduate or masters and they do PhD, so they need a shorter time for the literature review. So during the first semester, they're very fast. Um, and they won't need much time because they have had some students, they start a new title, a new research area. So they took more time for literature review. Maybe first semester in UTM, um, we have to take 2 classes for the research student. And they also doing for research methodology. Sometimes second semester, then they got the right title. Yeah. So, but you can go like when you drive a manual car, you go first, apa tu namanya, Dr. Yati? First gear. You go first gear very
Ya, gear
slow,
1.
but then once you start, you can go fast to the fifth gear. So it depends also on the student. That's why I suggested publication in the first or second semester is uh, on the literature review, right? You can publish review paper like this with the help of your supervisor. Sometimes students confuse which title, because you have to also make sure that this has not been done by anyone else, right? Sometimes uh, it's very scary because the topic is being doing by somebody but have not been published yet. And when you were doing it, this happened to my student also. When the student is doing it without knowing somebody else is doing it, suddenly there's a paper published. So the student have to change, right? Or find other cases. And that is why it's also very important for me to know everyone in the area, to go to conferences to see, because some people, they don't share, so you don't know until the last minute. I remember one time when I to present when I was a PhD student. I also went to conferences with my supervisor. This one PhD student presented the findings, and then this one professor said, this has been published in this journal, so it's not anymore your PhD. So this is something very scary. I don't know how, because we cannot know, right? What people have been doing. That's why some students are very fast, fifth, sixth semester, and some because of family matters also, and because of this kind of thing. That's why you see the duration is different by different students. I hope I answer your question.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you, Zaki-san, for the question. We have another one question on the chat. So from Dian, she is from Universitas Brawijaya. So thank you for the insightful presentation, Prof. Niza. I have a question. Have you seen candidates complete a PhD in under 3 years, and what made it possible?
Okay, maybe you missed my earlier sharing. At least two, at least two of my students submitted their thesis in fifth semester. Okay, in fifth semester, and in UTM, there is a requirement. You have to publish 2 papers in Web of Science, and in the fifth semester. Yeah, that is the requirement. But you have to finish your thesis, right, in the fifth semester. I know they work very, very hard, because this one student from the first one that finished in fifth semester from Pakistan, he still sent me an email at 2 a.m. I know he's still in the faculty because he didn't have internet at his home. He live outside. So I know he's been working very hard. But my advice to him, make sure you have enough sleep. So it depends on the student, and it's very possible. Okay, when I said the basic requirement to finish within 3 years would be working 40 hours a week. But this student may be more. And I said, in 1 year, you can take leave for 1 month. Maybe the student never take leave, like I did in my PhD. So I finished much earlier than the other students. So it is, yes. Do you have any other part that I did not answer? What made it possible? I think that's it.
Okay. I think one of Prof. Niza's student, Dr. Hazira, she finished her PhD, but at young age, 20,
Yeah. In her
24.
case, she got her PhD when she's 24 years. One of the reason is that in Malaysia, in primary school, she can skip one class, standard 3, and then after high school finish, they have a Mara Express that you don't have to go, like it going to US is also express. You go to the first year, and then first class undergraduate, and then no masters, go to PhD. And then for PhD, within 3.5 years, she finished. Because when she was doing undergraduate project with me, I asked whether she wants to do for PhD because of the good CPA. So she said, I will continue for my PhD. So I said, I will give you the topic that is possible to continue until PhD. So I remember during her undergraduate year, it's very tough actually. She write the details of the project report on the paper and then pasted in the wall in UTM. The wall is full with writings. And then I sent her to so many attachment abroad, just to make sure the one until Brazil, because he's the one that did that particularly, and he knows whether this is uh, um, novelty or something new, or nobody have done it. So she's the one that went to the most number of countries during her PhD.
So thank you, Prof. Niza. I think there's one final question maybe on the chat, on the chat box, Sensei. So we take this final question. Prof. Niza, thank you for this inspiring session. I'm very interested in pursuing postgraduate studies under your supervision. You have to be very quick, okay? Prof. Niza is retiring soon. As a full-time academic staff member, what strategies would you recommend to effectively balance professional responsibilities and research commitments? So this is from Miss Elsie.
Okay. Elsie, we are friends in Facebook, right? I think I said this. Okay. Okay. Let me answer the second half, because the first half I cannot guarantee. I'm retiring next year. I will be 60 next year. So, uh, but I had one student who's working full time, okay, working full time as a teacher in a college, and finished PhD in 3 years, and also had a baby during those time. So it also depends on your managing the time. Okay. And for me, it's very important that your spouse understand you if you married. Sorry. Okay. If not, your family. Uh, my students who are single, I said sometimes, when you go back to hometown, then I'm also a mom of 3 kids. So if my son don't share with me the responsibility, what then I said, let's go here, let's go there. So they have to know what is expected of you. And the last part that I shared in my slide about sacrifice. You need to sacrifice, but I never lack of sleep. I have to sleep 6 to 8 hours. So by 10 p.m. or 11 p.m., I cannot stay until after. Health is utmost important. If you are not healthy, then you cannot do anything at all. But it is very possible, because at least one who did it full time with the family, with the baby, she finished and graduate on time. And also teaching and working full time.
Okay, so that requires commitment, Miss
Yes.
Elsie. Okay,
Mm.
last question. Okay, so no more question after this, but you have to contact Prof. Niza if you have any more burning question from your side, because this comes up on the chat from Ghazali. Assalamualaikum, Prof. Niza. I would like to ask you, how do you manage and support your 49 students, and to what extent do you treat them equally while addressing their individual needs? So any of your students jealous of each other, Prof. Niza? You have so many, maybe they complain, one student get more attention, the other no.
Okay. Since I share my timetable, I give my students the opportunity if they want to meet. Okay. And before I was the admin, it's easy. I can just put their name in my schedule in the very first week of the semester. Once I know what classes I need to go, so they have their own space. Okay, whether some students, sometimes I don't have anything to share with you, Proniza, this week. Should I come and see? I say I have a lot to share, so you don't need to have so many things. You can just come and use your time to meet me. This is my responsibility and your responsibility. And when I was becoming busy managing the whole university and 5,000, I think 5,000 students from 80 countries at those time. My schedule is quite packed, so I share my schedule, and I cannot say first come first serve, because I serve everyone. So sometimes I need to meet like 8 in the morning. During COVID, you can meet online. But some of them, I said I only free because normally meetings start at 9, so 8 to 9. But they have been very punctual, and sometimes we can just meet half an hour. But you have to know what we want to discuss. It's very important. Um, I don't manage 49 at one time, of course, but I had one time 8 students to 10 students, because every semester I will take one student, one student. So sometimes at one time until their sixth semester for this one. But I cannot use the 8 hours when working in office to finish everything with the meeting, with the meeting the students, meeting as admin, managing others. When do I read your thesis or your abstract or your paper? I had to sacrifice. I use my nights until 10 p.m. or I use my weekends or public holiday, and sometimes I take leave so I don't need to go to a meeting to read your thesis. So this is kind of a sacrifice, but yes, I treat them equally. If there are any of my previous students here that don't think so, Dr. Fox here, Dr. Zali is actually my last
Oh,
student. Dr.
okay.
Fika is my student. So
Mm.
you let me know that I'm not fair. I was not fair. Please do so.
So thank you so much. So Dr. Ghazali, so I hope that answers your question. So Prof. Niza has been treating all her 49 student children very, very much fairly in terms of attention, time. And I agree with Prof. Niza that we as lecturers, we sacrifice our weekends and night times. So I would like to allow invite Professor Rijal to also ask question. Sensei has a question for Prof. Please, Sensei.
Okay, thank you very much, Professor Nija. So I just want to confirm one supervision style. So sometime in my lab also, there is so many students. So next April, coming April, I'll have 10 PhD student and 10 master student. Of course, I have a undergraduate third year student, 10 student, about 10, and fourth year about 10. Almost I'll have about 40 student in my lab, right? So it will be quite busy. And sometime we do in Japan, of course, the PhD student, they have even master student, they have their own topic, right? So,
Yeah.
but sometime we ask them to supervise the undergraduate student. Sometimes if they have the similar topic, for example, even the PhD student, they need to take care maybe the junior PhD student, like if they are already in third year, maybe they can support the first year, right? Also sometimes master students and also the bachelor students. So how do you do? Do you have like this practice in the UTM or not? That's just I want to confirm to you.
Yeah, okay. Prof. Rizal, thank you for sharing your practice also. The same as me. And I don't really have many postdocs, yeah. But many other lecturers, they have postdocs. So they can have like up to 20 PhD students. Their postdocs are also helping with the PhD student because postdoc, they have PhD. I don't get that liberty or opportunity because I don't have that much grants. For PhD, I normally manage with the help of my co-supervisors, who were mostly my PhD students, by doing like the mentor-mentee, so the simple things that they can ask the co-supervisor individually. Then we meet together, so the time is safe. And for PhD or masters, I will also ask for their help for the undergraduate student. Then that will not only helping the undergraduate student actually not only ask for the advice or help, but they are also helping these research students for updating literature reviews, especially you said it's in the area. And they know already, especially for the masters or PhD student who graduated from UTM, they will help me a lot in managing, also saving my time, and by not helping themselves also. So because these students, they will do literature review, and by checking maybe the first draft, and then we sit together. So they learn by doing and by helping each other. And this is what, if yeah, if you have so many, and you cannot meet one by one. If you meet 1 hour one by one, that will be 10 hours already, bro. So they have their own, maybe this and then together. I also once do discussion all together in a group, but cannot concentrate on particular one. Especially mathematics, I have to really see the proof or the calculation and this thing. So if I cannot meet once every week, maybe at least once a month for individual student. Meeting with the undergraduate student together, I normally will meet together, because what I will help is I will say the same thing. So I won't repeat myself, 2, 3, 4, 5 students meet together. So for you, maybe the scope is different, things are different, but try to put them so they can also discuss together, and they have their mentor from our master's or PhD student. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much. So I think they also learn by
True.
supervising their colleague,
Yeah.
and also sometimes like they can have their more publication as a co-author also,
Yeah.
right? I think
Yes,
that's
of
also a
course.
good opportunity for them.
Of course.
And
Yeah. Because
also,
students
yeah,
normally they are scared of us, right? So it's much easier to ask little questions to the seniors than to
yeah,
the supervisor.
yeah, okay. So thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sensei and Prof. Niza. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we've come to the end of the leadership discourse today. And we would like to thank Prof. Niza for her time and also all of her sharing, all the beautiful photos and information that she has shared with all of us today. And may I invite Professor Rijal, Dean of Graduate School of Environmental and Information Studies at Tokyo City University, to give us a little bit of his concluding remarks. Please, Sensei.
Okay, so good morning. I think it's still good morning in the Malaysia.
Yes.
So first and foremost, I sincerely thank the Professor Noor Haniza Sarmin
Mm.
for her inspiring and insightful lecture. So I think we can conclude like supervision is not about control. So it is about guidance.
Mm-hmm.
It is not about authority. It is also responsibility. And it is also not only about the research, so it is also about the people, as you mentioned. So today's session clearly show us that successful supervision goes far beyond the academic guidance. It requires planning, structure, discipline, communication, and above all, real care for the students. The practical strategies here, from research planning and publication preparation to monitoring progress and preparing for the viva, offer the valuable guidance that we can immediately apply in our own academic environment. One more message we learn is that graduation on time is not accidental. It is the result of the careful planning, consistent monitoring, and the strong collaboration between supervisor and the student. Likewise, strong publication must be strategically planned from the beginning of the research journey. We also remind that a supervision is not only the intellectual, it is human. True supervision means supporting a student academically, professionally, and personally. Professor Nija, thank you so much once again for your generous share your rich experience and wisdom with us. Your dedication to supervision excellence is truly inspiring to us. I would like to express my sincere thanks to all the professors, students, and colleagues who joined for us this meaningful lecture. So finally, a special thank to Dr. Norhayati for her support in organizing this lecture. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Rijal Sensei, for a beautiful speech. We have a group photo with Prof. Niza, maybe in a few minutes. And as we all know, I would like to just remind all students to never forget to express your deepest and utmost appreciation to your supervisors. Because as Prof. Niza mentioned, as Sensei mentioned, patience from supervisors, and also the sacrifices made by the supervisors. I think all the students in Rijal Lab are also very blessed and very lucky, just like the students of Professor Niza. They all have excellent supervisors. Since they always work at weekends as well, spend time reading the papers, printed the papers, read by sentence and word, checking. So students, do not forget, okay, to express appreciation for your supervisors and keep the relations beyond your studies. It will be meaningful as you progress in your career. So thank you so much everyone for attending.